All right, guys, we're back at it again. Day number 536. I don't know. So we got the radiator in, mounted, condensers in and mounted. Time to do some CAD, as in cardboard aided design, to come up with a bracket for the tranny cooler. I just spent like 20 minutes putting the bumper on, and taking some measurements and seeing what's going to fit. And so this is as high as I can go with the tranny cooler, so it's got to be below that line, and that's because the bumper comes across right around at that spot, and the hood grill, this thickness actually overlaps that bumper, so we need to have it below that lip. There we go. We need to have it below that lip to clear it. So what I'm thinking is we'll put it here. We're going to put it upside down so the fittings are on the bottom. We have hard line. We're going to make a bend and we'll come over and around. That's going to be a whole different story. But right now the challenge is to use the existing bungs here to generate a bracket that will hold that thing in the right spot. And so we're going to employ some cardboard. I'm not super confident about making this bracket. It's going to need to be a little bit 3D, and I don't really have a good way to cut them out, so we'll see how it goes. After a lot of contemplation, I think I'm going to go this route. I'm going to use the screws that are here. I don't know. I don't like it. I'd rather do a bracket to these, but honestly, it's probably beyond my capabilities. It's going to have a lot of bends and whatnot to try and get around things and to place it where I need to be. This is just easier to do something like that there on all four corners instead of trying to make one monolithic bracket for each side. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it turns out. I have this piece of sheet metal, aluminum, and it already has like a dog leg in it with PEMs. And I was like, oh, this is great. I might be able to use this, but unfortunately the PEMs are on the wrong side. I need them on the other side because we want to put a bracket up and then have it dogleg away from the condenser. But these are on the wrong side, so that's unfortunate. Looking at this and thinking about it, I think I will use this plate, actually. Even though the PEMs don't work out for me, I can use this dogleg because I really don't have the means to make this very easily. I could probably get it done, but it's not going to look nearly this nice. Instead, I'm going to use this dog leg for this area here, so then it'll come off and immediately dog leg out. And all I really need that for is so that I have room on the other side to put a bolt, or a screw or something, so that the screw isn't in the fins there. So I think this will work out. I'll do this, it'll dog leg out, same thing on the bottom here. It'll attach there, dog leg out, and come out, and we'll bolt to there. I think that's the plan. I'm going to start with the bottom one, I think, because it's very simple, and go from there. See how it works out. So that's bracket number one. Definitely can use some trimming down, but I want to make sure I locate all the other brackets before I do anything. But that's the way it'll sit. And then I got It's probably at least an 1/8 inch, maybe a little bit more, 3/16 between there, the back side of this bracket and the coil. So I have room to put a bolt on the inside. So I think that'll work. Let's see if we can get the other ones done. All right, it's been several hours and I got these 4 brackets done. They're not fully in there and they're not fully done. They still need a little bit of modifying, but that's the next step, is to figure out exactly where it's going to go and then mark the holes, and I'll pull all the brackets off, drill the holes, put them all back on, then it'll be mounted. So I marked the top right corner bracket and I just got to figure out what I'm going to use for hardware to connect this. After looking through my bins of hardware, I found something close, but it was basically a 1/4 inch behind here, which it was a little too close for comfort. So, you know, this panel had these PEMs in them that I had popped out to reuse the holes in the brackets that I made. And so I decided, well, maybe I'll just use the PEMs. I actually have another plate with more PEMs in them. So I took the PEMs that I popped out. They just get a 1/4 inch hole and you hammer them in and the little teeth bite in and you come up with this. And I have these little, these are 1032 stainless. These are stainless as well. So that'll work out good. Now to make 3 more. I got all 4 done now, but you can see these brackets are bigger than they need to be. So I'm gonna trim it down a little bit. After recontouring these, they look good, except for this one. It's got this little notch in it. It's driving me nuts. I need to fix it. It's looking much better. Still hot. All right. I like it. I think this will work. Well, I sure hope I think it works, because if I got this far and I didn't think it was going to work, we have problems. This one, this upper right hand corner gets a spacer because all the other ones have a bracket, an existing bracket that's underneath it. This one doesn't, so I made a little spacer to space that out so that they're all at the same plane. Ta-da! Oh man, it only took me like all day. But it does look good. Clean, sturdy, not going anywhere. The big question is, does the bumper fit? Now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to trim a little bit out the back of the bumper at the lower area there. Let's see if all my planning worked out. It's actually not bad, but I could probably trim a little bit. Like right here, it's hitting. Even though, I mean, it's barely hitting. I mean, if I move it and see, it's like just resting on it. But vibrating, you know, that could cause issues. So I might just clearance that a little bit. No one's going to notice. This is below the bumper, which means the hood should close without any issue. No problem. Looking good. I have about 3 inches here, maybe a little bit more, before it hits the bumper, the front valance. Or we have these 2 fittings, which are the OEM fittings. These end used to go into the radiator, and this end is a fuel type fitting that goes into the factory flexible lines that are right behind the lower radiator mount. My intent is to cut these off, leaving just the part that goes into the OEM flex line, and then using a compression fitting to connect this little stub to our new 3/8 line. And that line will go over here, come around, there'll be another one here, and go into over here to meet up with these fittings. So these use 3/8 inverted flare. The question is, will my cheap handheld bender actually work? I have no idea. I've never used one of these before. So we're gonna try. So it's marked 3/8, but it's also marked 5/16. I guess that means both of them work. I don't know. This is interesting. They're different diameters. There's like a little ridge right here, it makes it smaller. So maybe you need to put it. Yeah, that doesn't fit. Yeah, that fits. Oh, okay. So this side is 3/8. This side is 5/16. That's kind of odd, but okay. Because doesn't this turn? I guess. Oh no, it's not. It's indexed. There's a little thing there. Okay, so I guess it's in the right spot for 3/8 because that's the side closest to the bender part. Now we need to make an immediate right turn here. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna put it as close to the flare end as possible and start bending. Okay, that is not working. And that's what I was afraid of. That is way collapsed. I don't even see how this thing can do a 90-degree bend. Because I'm practically closed, all the way closed. Yeah, it's all the way closed, pretty much. And this is not 90. Junk. Oh boy. I was really hoping to get this done today. I don't think I'm going to get it done today. We need to solve this problem first. We are back with a new tool. I was going to say toy, but this is a 3/8 pipe or tubing bender. Much better quality than this thing. This thing's a joke. As you saw, this is not a quality bend by any means. But check out this amazing bend. Let me move that down there. I mean, that looks great. I have no complaints about that. And that's with this bender. Much better bender, much more expensive as well. This was actually one of the cheaper ones of this design, where it has rollers. This one was only $60. Link in the description below. So I'm really excited to see what we can do with this because it seems like it should be a lot better. All right, so we have this, and we have a mark here, which is not very clear. We're gonna go all the way around with it. And we want to go, basically we're gonna make a 90 going straight up. So we want a U. And so how I understood this was that we take this out, open it all the way up. I'm having trouble getting this in. There's a way to do it. You have to like angle it. There it is. So you have to put it in first at an angle like this, and then you can do that. Okay. We line up. Get this flat. So we line up the zeros. The zeros are lined up. And we want this lined up with the L. At least I think we do. There we go. Okay. Right, zeros lined up. My line is lined up with the L. This is straight. Okay, let's see if this works. Just double checking. Yes, we're making a U. So this is the way to go. The L is set. And then we're gonna go until the 90. Maybe a little bit more for spring back. And that should be good. Probably a little too much, but it'll be good. You can always just bend it out. So here's the second line. It was a little easier. And it's going back into there. I'm not exactly sure how I'll do this. Maybe I'll put a clamp in there, something like that. I ended up redoing this line because I didn't like that little dog leg there. Now they line up properly. There's a little dog leg there to bring that back hose behind this one, and they go in there. I did have to put a little dog leg in there because this technically should have been a little bit lower, and I cut them to length. So I'm going to put the couplings on and the ends, and I think we'll be done. All right, I got the two compression fittings on down there. And you can see one's a little shorter and one's got a bend on it. Those two will plug into each other, and that pipe there that's in the bag will plug into that one there. And I want to make a little bracket that just holds these right there. Keeps the pressure off these fittings. So that's next. It has been 3 hours since the last clip, and I made this over-engineered bracket to hold the pipes, the tubing. Now everything is solid, not going anywhere. That took me way too long. I really wish I had a mill, but it came out okay. Hopefully it clears the bumper. It's the next day, and I connected the two tranny lines up down there. We're gonna put this upper radiator hose, well, we're gonna fit it. I wanna do that before I put the shroud on. But I also got a replacement aluminum filler neck. So I gotta cut these off without damaging the hose. This comes with these plastic clamps, kind of like PEX, I don't know. So we're gonna cut these off. Alright, let's do this again. This is annoying. Alright. So this thing comes with the stud at the bottom, but there's nothing to plug it into, so I'm not gonna see if it'll... No, it will not. That's probably a bolt that they cast right in. So, oh, silicone? Interesting. All right, so now we have to see how this goes in here.
2,000 years later.
That was way harder than it should have been. All right, that's looking good. All clamped up there. Of course, I didn't put the spring in. I'm hoping that this is short enough that it's not gonna collapse. Okay, next is the fan. Let's see what we can do with that, because I think that's gonna be a problem. What we need to do is just trim that little piece of plastic there and should fit. Now, if I remember correctly, these bolt holes don't line up. And I should have fixed that before I put the thing in. So now we get to deal with it in situ. So I just cut off a little bit there. I don't know if it's enough or not, but we'll see. All right, I got the fan in. I got the lower shroud in. I'm gonna fill it up at this point because if there's a leak, I gotta take all this apart again. I bought some Prestone Platinum concentrate and the ratio is 56:44. Why would you do that? For every gallon of Prestone, mix 0.78 gallons of water. Sorry, but you're getting 1 gallon of water. Okay, no leaks so far. Oh, it is green. Well, it's not coming out the bottom. Everything's in. I think it's time to start it. So far, no leaks. Knock on wood. Training lines aren't even warm yet. They're starting to get a little warm. This is still cold, which worries me a little bit, but I think it'll be fine. Oops, I just hit that. Definitely warm. Definitely some heat coming off the radiator, so warming up. Oh yeah, that's hot. That side is definitely hot. This side is still cold. I can touch it. I mean, it's warm. It's cool down here. I don't understand this design. All the heating is done up here. All the cooling, I should say, is done up here because the water's going to want to flow this way out here. Down here, it's like, yeah. If that's 90 degrees, that would be a lot. This was 87. This feels a little bit cooler than this. Yeah, but it feels, this is cooler than this one. So that's crazy. It's definitely warmer up here, but still, I mean, I wouldn't want to hold it for a long time, but I can touch it. This side I can't touch. That's really hot. And there's definitely a lot of heat coming off it, so I don't know. I think we're pretty good here. Oh, there's definitely pressure in there too. They look good. I don't see any drips or anything. It's 170 on this side. I'll go to the hottest spot here. It's 102 on this side. And it's just idling. That's crazy. Alright, I think we have some success here. We can throw the front bumper on and we'll be done. Alright, so I trimmed that one. Trim that one, trim that one, trim that one. No, nothing's hitting. It's close, but it's not hitting. So I'm just going to tighten these bolts up and put the fender bolts back in, and we'll be good. This thing is in desperate need of a oil change, so I'm also going to do that. But thanks for watching, everybody. If you like what you see, come like and subscribe below. And as always, I put any links to products in the description. And that helps out the channel if you buy anything from there. I get a little bit of a affiliate fee. Doesn't change the price for you though. And we'll catch you on the next one.